Why is it? Hey, Jeff, did you see this article that came out on CNN? It talks about how eating one hot dog takes 35 years off your life. Not 35 years, 35 days off your life.
How huge is a hot dog if it takes up 35 years?
So
35 days, like over a month.
Apparently, I was going to live forever. And now I'm just going to have a normal human lifespan based on all the hot dogs that I eat. And it really bothers me. I'm upset at trying to be excited about a Red Wolves victory, and I get a bummer of a story like that. Propaganda from Big Salad just trying to ruin my mood. I don't think I'm going to let him though.
Soccer chat with 2 T's, because we're going to chat about soccer, but we're also in Chattanooga, so it's like a play on words. And Chattanooga is a soccer city.
We're back.
Here Welcome to Soccer Chat Season 3, Episode 15.
That's doubtful. But
as you can see, Jeff is here. I am here. Adam is not.
Yeah. You know what? He stood us up for the party last night too. So I was going to call him out for that.
I think he's moping. He went his whole Adam negative way, saying that he wasn't gonna pick the Red Wolves to win. And they did. So, as we know, Adam was wrong.
Yes.
And now he's off in Adam land sulking.
I think so. I think he's hiding from us, a little bit of shame, but mostly fear. And but I think someone has a theory that maybe I'm not sure what this is about with his new best friend. I don't know what that's about. So you might be able to clarify with that. So I'm jealous.
I think we'll get to that later in the thing. So of course, big win, 93rd minute. What are your initial thoughts in this game that we played against North Texas? 3rd game in a row that we've scored a goal against North Texas in stoppage time.
Yeah. I think North Texas hates us. And I think at first they didn't take us serious the first year. I think they actually hate us now. And it was kind of what you and I hate to say like we're soothsayers, but kind of what we predicted, or at least what we hoped for with the lineup and then for the result. But I felt we were the most likely. I think we came out very strong in the first. We definitely lost steam about halfway through the first half, and it didn't pick up again until later in the second half. But North Texas threatened, but I didn't look like there was anything that North Texas was throwing at us that Trilk couldn't handle. On the opposite, we had finishing, but we just couldn't get it in the net as far as it got in the net, but it was offsides. And that was really frustrating because where we were sitting and looked like it wasn't. So I kind of lost it a bit. So it was very pleasant to see that we did pull it out. And I had a feeling we would, because it felt like it was going to happen.
Yeah, there were multiple times I feel like we were called offside that I don't think the referees, the assistant referees on those sidelines were in good position to make those calls. One of the things that irritates me more than anything is watching an assistant referee in League One trail the play by a good 10 yards, and they see a defender's hand go up to appeal for offside, and they just throw their flag up. It irritates me to no end. Of course, the defender is going to say the guy was offside, but something that these guys who are working these games ought to know, Chattanooga Red Wolves have speed. They'll run by a defender. So they'll be in onside position And when the ball gets played, because the defender is trying to work angles and not necessarily turned and running full speed, our guy will get past him and he'll be behind the defense when he receives the ball. Honestly, there's plenty of other teams in League One. There's plenty of other players. I think about the guy that plays with Toronto. He's got big poofy hair and he's just like a puff of smoke out there. He is super fast, even puffier than yours, Jeff. So they have, there is speed.
I'm very fluffy
league.
right now.
Guys who are going to run past defenders. And so when they receive the ball, they'll be behind the defense, but not because they were in an offside position. You look at the game, there were 11 shots for both sides. We had 2 shots on target to North Texas's 1. So you look at, what you're talking about watching North Texas, it never felt like we were threatened. Tim Trilk came up, I think the one shot came up with a really big save. He had another one of his Superman punch outs on a cross or a corner kick. I can't remember if it was from a set piece, but he has really stepped up his game. But Chattanooga's defense was able to handle what North Texas was throwing at them. I agree with you. It never felt like they were going to threaten. And it was frustrating because this is a game that I feel like we probably really won 3-0, which is what I predicted. But those goals were called back for offside. We had some pretty decent attacking play in this game, and it didn't get rewarded. But testament to the team, they keep going all the way to the very end. The final whistle, they'll keep going until that final whistle, and they came up with the goal yet again.
Yeah, what I was happy with this time, and I hadn't been seeing for the past few matches, was the fact how we were persistent and knocking on the door. And yes, we were pushing on the other games, but it felt like we were one and done, and we had to start over again, one and done. But this time, it felt like once we got there, we tried to keep the ball. If it didn't go in, we tried to get the ball back as quick as possible, get them on the counter, rather than have to go back and reset. And I think that made a difference. The other thing, and I think the big difference, was having the crowd. I think we still have some work to do with us as supporters and how we react. We can be very loud and very vocal when the Red Wolves do something, but we've got to get the other supporters to understand that when we start to do something, when we start the chants, that pumps up our side. And the first goal, the one that Tanky had that was called offsides, that came off the tail of us in the stands starting to shout, and you could see the momentum going. So I'm hoping that some of the supporters out there are going to start to shout and create something to shout about rather than waiting for something to shout about. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
I understand what you're saying. I think if you are a careful observer of these Red Wolf games, especially in Chattanooga, and I will say I watched a little bit of the broadcast. They actually took the microphone out of the fishbowl, so a lot of the crowd noise was perceptible. It didn't sound muffled like they were trying to keep the sound down, as opposed to other places. Yeah. In the Wisconsin area where it seems like they hand lapel mics to everyone in the support section. But when we were chanting, when the whole stadium gets going with a "Let's go Red Wolves," you can see the team pick up their intensity. Yeah. That is something, if you're watching the game, carefully observing, you can tell when they're doing those chants. And so it's really, it's a big thing. Hopefully our supporter group understands, the short, catchy ones that can get the whole crowd going are really good. And they do a great job of building it up. Another thing that's fun with the crowd is they can get the other team notices that we are right on top of them and they don't love it.
Yeah.
Their coaches are in their little, their little dugout, and they don't like that people are there, that people are giving them the business. They try to invent things like we're swearing at them to try to get people thrown out, even though that's not the case. And so and you can tell at the end of some of these games, they're irked, they're irritated. They want to get off that field. They're not sticking around and doing their little cool down laps like you used to see. They grab their guys up and everyone get to the trailer and let's get on the bus and get the heck out of here, because they're tired of being in the middle of all of us heckling them. That makes a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. When the game was over, I guess, for non-Red Wolves, it got awkward quick. So, all of a sudden it wasn't fun anymore. But I going back to the game though, one of the offsides, and I haven't had a chance to watch it yet on TV, was the Jackson Dietrich offsides. From where I was at, the ball, I mean, he got the ball and the ball was in front of him. He was never at any time was he behind the ball. So there must have been another player I missed because I could not see how in the world that could have been offsides. But I suspect that they flubbed it again, and that's really frustrating. It almost seems, I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant, but it feels like the refs are trying to one up each match on showing how bad they could ref. It's almost like a challenge. And I'm being a little dramatic, but it's pretty frustrating.
It does get very frustrating. And, my theory is, of course, with U.S. soccer having an inverted pyramid, it's hard to find good help. It's difficult to come up with the referees that are needed, that have the quality to do these professional games. There's terrible MLS referees who probably, if they drop down to League One, would look, passably mediocre. But they're stuck doing MLS games because MLS right now has like 28 teams and is looking to expand to 75 or something like that. So it's so hard to find a experienced quality referee who is used to managing games at that speed. And that to me is what the offside felt like. There was a time where I turned and looked, and like I said, the AR was literally 10 yards behind the play. He could not keep up with the guys. And he looked like a college kid. Quite honestly, he looked like he was younger than all of those guys out there on the field.
It feels like we have academy referees on our professional game. That's what it feels like most of the time.
A lot of times. And I told you guys, I have a rant that I know everyone's shocked. Alex has a rant, but I've been thinking more about this match, and there's the consistently inconsistent refereeing. They don't feel experienced that we talk about all the time. We have conversations with my son in academy. You're never going to like all the calls the referee makes. You're always going to feel like they kind of did you dirty. You're always, I always kind of roll my eyes when you watch any game and people say, oh, it's hard when you're playing against two teams, or we were against 14 guys instead of 11. But last night's referee, Luis Arroyo, and I'm saying his name because the way he was acting, he wanted his name out there. He seemed to think he was the main attraction of the show. He was trying to affect the game and not in a positive way. I think back to the lovely movie Ocean's 11, and Brad Pitt is giving instructions to Matt Damon for, whatever con they're going to pull. He's talking to him about impersonating someone. And he says to him, he has to like you and forget about you the moment you walk away. And I think that is an excellent description of what a referee should be. The game should end and we should all go, oh, that ref did a pretty good job. And then we don't talk about him at all anymore. This referee was making calls that were inexplicable as fans were, doing their thing, because we're fans. When the call goes against us, we're going to boo, we're going to holler, we're going to, tell him he sucks. Well, he started bantering with the fans. He started talking back. I'll say, Adam, funny line. The guy takes out our player's ankle. He calls the foul, and Adam says to him, did you forget your cards? This was an obvious, should have been a card foul, taking out a guy's ankles right on the edge of the box. And he turns and looks at Adam with this little smile on his face and says, yeah, I did. Shh, don't tell anyone. ha, very funny. But you know what? You're a professional referee. You shouldn't be bantering back and forth with the fans, especially in a way like that you're, trying to show that you're trying to get under our skin, show us that you can't be bullied or whatnot. I heard from other folks that he was bantering with fans in other sections of the stadium. It wasn't just with us who were down there arguing with him. And once that game was over and we came away with the victory, and he realized that he couldn't, have all of us stomping out all mad because Luis Arroyo screwed us over. All of a sudden, he didn't have a lot of jokes. I was continuing to heckle him as he was walking off the field. All of a sudden, he didn't want to look over at me and mug and smile and do all of his fun stuff. He went, back to the referee stuff, and they were leaving for the car. And oh no, he couldn't turn around and, give me a wave. Or he didn't have any more jokey jokes once we were able to overcome that. It was incredibly unprofessional. I was very disappointed in Luis Arroyo, and I don't think pro referees should be assigning him to any other games. He should not be walking out on that field thinking, I'm going to affect this game and have everyone thinking about what I did. He should be seeking to be as inconspicuous as possible when that game is over. And you're not going to like every call he makes. You're going to like some of the calls he makes. He wasn't, I think on the whole, we've had worse referees. Mm-hmm. But just those actions, the bantering back and forth, and then come to find out at halftime, they were trying to have a fan removed, making up stories about being cussed at. I'm sorry, if you're going to look at fans in the eye and banter with them during the game, you don't really have any right to ask for anyone to be kicked out because of what they're saying to you. You're inviting it onto yourself. That's all I got.
That's it. That's all. Going back, I do want to come back to our Red Wolves, and this is 15 matches, Alex, undefeated, continued undefeated at home. We're almost out of the year. I mean, we very possibly could be undefeated at home for this entire year. We're at the top of the league, and I do know Union Omaha has 2 games in hand, and so we're only 2 points ahead of them. But what a position we're in. And I got to say, I want to come back to the match, though, because the euphoria on the pitch and the euphoria at the party afterwards, I think it was my favorite fan experience. For those of us who were season ticket holders, we got a chance to join the club as well as other season ticket holders in the new executive clubhouse that we were at last night or the night before. What do you think of the mood in there? I mean, was it just me, or did it feel like it was ecstatic?
It was very celebratory. Coach Obleda came in and was going to go do his interviews, and we burst into some of the Red Bull songs. People were cheering, screaming. I was expecting folks to be chugging beers, but I don't believe they were. But everyone was having a great time. Everyone was in a positive mood. You're right. The 15 wins, or not 15 wins, but unbeaten for 15 straight games, is quite a record. That looks, they look like they can continue. Guys are healthy. Guys are playing hard. You talk to, Jonathan Ricketts and Jose Carrera Garcia, new nickname, by the way, Notorious JCG.
Ooh.
Notorious JCG. Yep.
Huh.
And Ricky Ruiz was in there. And they were buzzing and they were excited. And, they talked about just how cohesive this locker room is and how devoted these guys are, how much they want to show up, and they want to bring this trophy home to the city. They want to show Chattanooga that what Bob Martino has built is something that's going to last and is high quality. They want to show the rest of the league, who seems to love, putting things inside potatoes and all this other kind of, gobbledygook social media stuff, that, hey, we play quality soccer. We press, we pass, we overload one side and switch fields. We play diagonal balls. We are guys who go at the other team while defending. And so I think, too, you're talking about the 15-game winning streak. One of the things I'm very excited about is we've got 4 games now, 4 straight shutouts.
Yeah, that's huge.
Our last goal was in the first half, the last time North Texas was here, August 17th. So we've gone 4 games and a little over a half without surrendering a goal. When we had kind of a long run, I was wondering if we were going to go the whole season without a clean sheet.
Yeah.
So that's really impressive how they have sorted out those defensive issues. And Coach Obleda was a guest on the show, would talk about us being peaking, and I feel like we might be.
Yeah. But, I'm wondering, though, are we taking the next step? Because the last 2 games, I felt like we were more together. Even though we didn't come with a win the previous game, our form looked really good. And I know it's frustrating to not get the 3 points, but when we're playing that well, Alex, it's hard for me to get upset. And that, to me, gives me a lot of encouragement. I think they're getting their mojo, that they certainly are a team. They're fully a team. You mentioned the notorious JCG. Maybe he may have some thoughts about the game. What do you think?
So Jeff was able to grab some interviews with the players here, and we are going to play those now.
This is Wolfman Jeff with Jose Carrera Garcia. It feels like we've done this already, doesn't it?
Yes, I know.
So 1-0 Red Wolves win against North Texas. How does it feel with this win tonight?
It's amazing. We work hard. The team, we have a team full of winners, and we're never going to give up. We have great fans behind us all 95 minutes, and we're happy. I think it was one of our best performances collectively. Defensively, I think we're setting a statement that we're going to be hard to score on. So, just happy, happy because we're playing good football towards the end of the season, and we're peaking. Once we start putting the ball in the back of the net again, we'll be fine, So just happy for the entire group.
Now, it could have been a lot higher because it felt like, you had some opportunities that went into the net twice, and it got called off for offsides. So how do you as captain keep your team motivated to keep going and use that as a positive?
I just try to keep everyone focused, I try to keep positive. I try to make everyone's job easier, but the team just makes my job easier. I don't have to do much, they're big time. The guys are big time. I have the captain band, but we have 11 captains out there, everyone does their job, and that's important, that's important because no one's better than anyone here. We know that one day it's going to be me, the other day it's going to be someone else, and that's good about this group, and you don't find that everywhere.
Now, some of us longtime fans will recognize a name that was on the pitch, hasn't been on for a lot this season. Walefi got to share the midfield with you. So how was that, having Walefi back in the team this game?
It was awesome. He deserves it. He's had a tough injury, but Walefi's a great guy, great player, made my job easier. I think our chemistry was really well on, so I'm happy he's back, because he's a big part of the group, and he showed today that when he's on the pitch, he makes everyone better as well.
All right, I have to ask the question. You, Marky, and Ricky, in the last couple of games, there's been something a little different with that blonde hair. Was that a plan, or are you guys trying to be like Adama Traore? What's this about?
We were just bored.
We were
bored. We said, let's do something different. And, we went for it. I think we look good. So
looks good, yeah.
So that's all that matters.
So is the rest of the team going to go ahead and get the blonde look?
Once we win the championship, yes.
Okay, you got it. Well, all we got to do is win the championship. They're all going to go blonde.
And you're going to go blonde,
Okay, if they win the championship, we will video me going blonde.
I love that.
We will do that.
We got to shake on it.
We will shake on that.
Right.
Hey, this is the captain. What do you want to say to the fans for the 18th, to come out for the 18th?
Hey, we feed off your energy. We're so thankful to have you guys. You guys are a big part of, you guys are 12 men, so we're very happy. We want to keep pushing to have a semifinal and final here for the whole city to enjoy. So thank you guys.
Yeah, because the other team has their 12th man as the ref, but they have us.
Yes.
Wolfman Jeff, Soccer Chat. Thanks, man.
Perfect.
Hey, this is Wolfman Jeff talking with
Jonathan Ricketts.
All right, Jonathan, 1-0. Heart attack Wolves again. Now, it felt like it should have been 3-0 because we got the ball in the back of the net 3 times. Was that frustrating for a while, or?
For sure. When you don't see the ball, or when you see the ball go in the back of the net and then it doesn't count, it's always frustrating. You always know you could have had one or two or three. So yeah.
I know it's probably a fanboy perspective because I'm all Red Wolves. Sometimes it feels like you guys are playing against 12 teammates on the other side. I know you can't comment on that too much, but I know the refereeing, it gets tedious after a while. So how do you get your head back into the game when you're frustrated like that?
A lot of times we may look like we've lost our heads, with referees and stuff like that, but it's all part of the game. So, hopefully we're not really losing our heads and it's just talk. But yeah, you just got to keep playing. Now,
you guys are on how long is your undefeated streak?
15? Is that 15?
I think it is. And how many games have you lost here at CHI Memorial this year?
None.
Why, that's none?
None.
So how does it feel to be in the den, defending it again with yet a win against our on-form North Texas team?
It's great. I mean, they had a little streak going of their own, and so to beat them here, playing them 4 times in one season isn't easy. They're a great team. They move the ball. They play good football. So, yeah, it was really good to get a result against them.
Now, one of the blessings your team has, you've got some really good teammates. I know you'll agree. And so now I think the coach has more cards to play in his deck than he's ever had. But you are a consistent, every game, playing usually the entire game. How does it feel to be able to hold that spot for that long?
A lot of the rotation in the roster is, due to different things and injuries and stuff like that. So thankfully I've just been blessed not to pick up any injuries this season. So that's helped me stay in the squad and in the lineup as well.
I've noticed a little bit where you were consistently on the right side as a right back last year. This year you're kind of going back and forth with right and left. What was the reason for that? What was the plan with that?
I'm formerly a left winger, and I love attacking on the left side. So any chance I get to attack on the left, it just feels a bit more natural for me. So I love playing on the left, but I also, like attacking on the right too. And defensively, I don't really have a preference which side I'm on. I like both feet, so.
Now, this weekend, you're going to Greenville, so it's not a lot of break. You're going to get out. What do you think your chances are? What do you think the score is going to be at Greenville this weekend?
That we've got 4 clean sheets in a row, so hopefully we stick with that streak as well and pick up 3 points on the road.
Hey, I greatly appreciate it. I know the fans love it. Any word to the fans out here in Chattanooga to get us out on the 18th?
Oh man, thank you guys so much. It's absolutely incredible having you guys here at CHI, and you're really playing a big part in our success as a club, so thank you guys.
Thank you, John. You're the awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
It's Wolfman Jeff with Soccer Chat. Okay, this is Wolfman Jeff with Ricky, the Game Changer Ruiz. Ricky, when I first met you last year, we met, it was at CCS, it was at one of the scrimmages, and I asked you, how did you want to be remembered? And you told me you wanted to be remembered as a game changer. Do you feel you've lived up to that?
I think so. I want to say so, and the only reason why I would say that is because when we met last year, I didn't think I was going to be playing a left back position.
Yeah.
I was still, that scrimmage, I was still a winger. I was still an attacking player. So I had a different perspective of what my game changer was going to be like.
Yeah.
And then things happened, so I ended up playing a left back role. And then the reason why I would say so is because, I ended up on second team all league. So not to
That's
say
not
that
bad, not bad.
Yeah, not bad, but it's not really about me getting the recognition. It's just I take it in as a way that at least it shows that I did something right for the team. Yeah. So that's how I take that award. I don't take it anything more than that. I don't take it anything like just personal or proud. I'm obviously happy about it, but I'm more happy that it's a sign that I helped the team. And then this year I'm back up top, so. Yeah. I think at the end of the day, I think I've lived up to it in the sense that I've been able to play multiple positions, and I think I've been doing all right.
Oh, you've been doing fantastic because you're one of our most creative players, and I've been watching you. I love watching you on wing, but you've also been playing a bit of attacking midfield, and you're dangerous from really I haven't seen you play goalkeeper, but you're like dangerous from all these different positions. Has it been from playing so long? Does it help that you're playing with a lot of your childhood friends, or?
Well, as far as childhood friends, I've only had 2, the same ones I've had last year.
Yeah.
which is Ro and Marky.
Yeah.
They're the only ones I grew up playing with. The rest have been from California, so I've known them from other places, but we've had it's been easier. They play the same style that I play. It's the same style that the team likes to play, the style that Obleda wants to play, so I think we all got to hang of it quick. But yeah, like you said, I've been playing the 10 role. I started off this preseason as a left back. Actually, I came back in. I played as a left back preseason. Once season started, they switched me back out to the wing.
Yeah.
I played a few games in the wing, and then against Tucson, the first time we played them at their home, that was the first game I played as a 10.
It felt like that was our home game, didn't it?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
For sure. Yeah,
that was awesome.
Yeah, and then last game, halfway through the game, I got switched as the 9.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm just, as long as I'm attacking, I'm happy.
So I remember watching early last year, you mentioned Ro and Marky, and there's rumors you guys may be related. I know you're related to Ami. There's proof with that. Now
I'm not related to Ami.
There was some...
I'm not related to Ami.
I heard that there was a guy, there's 2 guys I met who both claim to be your uncles, and they could be playing a game. They're 2 different guys.
I remember that conversation.
So, I don't know. But, were you related to Marky?
No, neither.
Neither.
Ro and Ami are related.
Yeah, right, I know Ro.
And then Marky has some sort of relationship with them down the tree.
I think he's saying that Marky was created in a lab, and he said experiment, and it went right. So, but I noticed last year the way you guys would link up, it was you could tell you guys played well. But the reason I mentioned that is now it's not just you and Marky, it's not just you and Ro. I'm seeing you with you and Jose. I'm seeing you with you and Jimmy, you and Tanky. How does it feel to have that same kind of rapport with all these other players?
It's great. It's great because that just means you can count on any player that comes in. I can count on any players I start with. I can count on any players that come in. I can count on any player on the field because we all read each other. We all know our strengths. And I think the most important part is that everyone's coachable.
Yeah.
Everyone's coachable. So the style that we're playing is the style that Obleda wants to play. And I think everyone realizes and Obleda has done a good job in putting it in our head, the style that we want to play. And it's become easy because it's the style that everyone's good at playing. So I'm happy to be playing with whoever's in the midfield with me. If I'm in, if I'm not, it's nice to see from the outside.
So it's like Obleda ball works.
The results are showing.
So
it might come late. It might come late, but it's
it's going to be in stoppage time, but it happens. So you guys are on top of the table again.
Yes, sir.
Ahead of Omaha. Yes.
Yeah.
15 matches, undefeated at home, not lost a match at CHI Memorial this year at all. How does it feel having that much success?
It's great. We love it. From the beginning, we told ourselves that this was going to be a place that no one's going to come in and beat us. Even when we go away, we never really go for the tie. We always go for the win, no matter what. Yeah. If we come with the tie, it's good. Like Obleda says, a tie is good, but 3 points is great. So we always go for the win, and it is what it is. Everyone has to play home and away, and at our home, we got to make sure that we get at least the 3 points for sure, and at the very least, the 1 point if that's what it happens. But we're never going to take 0 points out of here.
So you're going to be in Greenville in a few days, short turnaround, but you guys are in top form. And Greenville, up until recently, were considered the top team in the league. They're looking kind of vulnerable. What do you think about Saturday?
I mean, based on their last game, they scored, I believe, 3 goals.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I wasn't against Stroke.
Yeah. It's just something it's going to be a good game for us. Every team, you watch them play, they play differently against other teams, and once it comes to us, they play differently, and it's like we're the championship game. So we have no doubt that they're going to come all out. They're going to come out for the win, and they need the win. Yeah. They need the win because they're in a position where any team can make it into the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th spot. So we just got to be organized and make sure that we don't make any defensive mistakes, and I think we'll be fine.
Last thing, you guys are back here on the 18th here at CHI Memorial. What do you want to say to the fans in Chattanooga to get them out here, and what do you want to see from them?
I mean, there's not much we can say. All I can say is that you're gonna get goals. You're gonna be content with coming out. You're gonna be excited. We're gonna give you guys a show, and make sure you bring your popcorn out.
All right. So who do you think has the most superpowers, Marky or Trilk? Because Trilk looks like he's flying right now, and Marky's got that super speed.
They both do. I can't say one or the other because they both have their magic in their own ways. One has it defensively, one has it offensively, and they both have special talent. So I can't say one or the other, but they both definitely do.
Oh, I'm here with Mr. Fantastic here with Ricky Ruiz, Wolfman Jeff, Soccer Chat. We'll see you on the 18th.
Yes, sir. Make sure everyone comes out.
All right, you're going to howl with me, right?
I finally got someone to howl with me. It's like
I'm so happy for you.
I know, because it means a lot. Really, it does. So, so I know it took a little more time, but it was worth it. Totally worth it.
All right. So really fast, you started to break down Greenville with Ricky. Feels like maybe you're trying to elbow us out.
Segue.
Okay. Segue. We'll go with that. Greenville, as you said, had lost 4 straight, but they kind of got up off the mat last week at home against Toronto. What are you expecting Greenville to do? We haven't beaten Greenville since 2019. What do you expect us to do against Greenville, and how do you expect the Red Wolves to maybe line up?
Well, we're not the same team since the last time we played them. Last time we played them very well. It was frustrating. Right now, it feels like we can't be defeated. I'm expecting us to continue this streak. Yes, I know Greenville just came back with a solid win, but it wasn't against us. And so I think the momentum is on our side. My only apprehension, Alex, is the time. Coming back from a Wednesday win and having to play on Saturday. Thankfully, it's just Greenville. It's not having to go to Toronto or having to go to Tucson. So it's not too far of a distance. But I do think that fatigue may come in. But I think I like our chances.
So yeah, I agree with you. I think had Greenville, been coming off of 5 straight losses or had not been able to pick up a win, it would almost be worse that they would be really playing for pride, playing for a playoff position, which they still are. But they may be kind of taking a deep breath. Okay, we've got that win under our belt. We're back. And like you said, this is a very different team than the ones that Greenville faced when they came here to Chattanooga. And so I think it is going to be kind of a different experience. These guys seem to relish the atmosphere and going to work. And so I think maybe there could be some tired legs towards the end of the game. I think we really need to look to get that early goal. But I think these guys are going to show up ready to play at Legacy Early College and ready to go. And I'm not really, I don't see a lot of changes. You might see someone like Josue España maybe come in the lineup. Someone like Villalobos, and then Ricky moves back to more of an attacking midfield instead of on the wing where he started this game. But I really don't see a lot of other changes. Rafa Metzingen didn't dress. I don't know if that's an injury reason or not. And so if he is not injured, which everyone's fingers are crossed, I'm sure, you may see him in the starting lineup for Juan Galindrez. But that back line is set in amber. And Tim Trilk he's grown from his first start in Omaha. If you watch his trajectory, he just keeps stepping up, coming up with big save after big save, and really grown into that role and has taken that goalkeeper spot. We didn't really talk about it like I wanted to when we were at the executive club on Tuesday, but Tim Trilk is the reason that the Fort Lauderdale game ended in a 0-0 draw. And then you look at the Team of the Week nominations, and the Fort Lauderdale goalkeeper was named a Team of the Week. And it's just as Adam joked, they looked at the stats. They saw that he had 7 saves to Trilk's 4. But Trilk's 4, we got a grade on a curve. Those saves were so much more impactful. Unfortunately, the shots that we were able to create, most of them, they were kind of weak ones that went straight into the keeper's gut. He got completely robbed from being on Team of the Week and got nominated for Save of the Week, which hopefully I haven't seen the results yet, but he should win. Go to League One if it hasn't closed yet and vote. Tim Trilk, Save of the Week, coming across the goal line to make a save. So that's the way that
Well,
I see the lineups going.
His goal of the week wasn't even his best goal of that match. That was the
Right.
one where he's flying out with the punch. If they had that, would it be a slam dunk? So I'm wondering if the league picked the other one so it's more fair. I don't know, because that other one was just like he's got it, you know.
Yeah. So painful prediction time. You seem pretty confident. How do you see this game ending?
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to be. Last time I said 0-2 and we got 0-1. I'm a little more reserved. Maybe it's because we're on the road, but I still see another clean sheet for Trilk, and that's absolutely on Trilk's form, but also, as you mentioned, our golden back line. There's very few shots are actually getting to Trilk, and when they come in, he's got them. So I'm calling for a 0-1. I'd like to be higher, but I feel that's a safer prediction. 0-1 Red Wolves win.
I think Greenville still has a lot of quality, even with our guys riding high. I see this being a 1-2. I'm going to use your convention. 1-2 Red Wolves victory. So I think Greenville's still going to get one, maybe one in the first half. And we come back in the second half and we come up with a goal to tie it. And we come up with that late winner yet again, Cardiac Red Wolves, Marky Hernandez.
Yeah.
Scoring the winner.
Boom. Yeah. And it could be him. It's just so many options. But see, that's the thing. It's hard to pick. Yeah. You have the assist from Ricketts. You had the goal from Villalobos, but that ball moved around a bit before it got to those guys. And that's how I think that's what throws them off, because it could come from anywhere. So.
Yes. So we've got some area college updates to give. UTC going to be away at North Alabama on Friday, but the big one this Sunday, 7 p.m., UTC is home against Tennessee Knoxville. Lady Red Wolf Hannah Tillett, player for University of Tennessee.
Yes.
Now that game is the one ticketed event for UTC women's soccer. Tickets are $8. You can go online and pay ahead. That is for capacity reasons. They're expecting a large crowd. Bring a lawn chair, because there's a little bit of, some grandstands that are kind of set up on the sideline, but not a lot. So you may need to find some room for yourself down along the sidelines. But go check out UTC. Big game with Tennessee coming to town. Tennessee Wesleyan's going to be opening up their conference play on Friday against Milligan University. Bryan College has got a couple friendlies before next week when they open up conference play. So they're playing games against local academies. The Lee men and ladies wins to begin the year, big time. The ladies are going to be away, but the men are playing at Lee University on Saturday in the afternoon. So go check them out. Covenant. Adam still hiding.
Good, Adam.
The men have a slow start to the tournament. They'll be out of town this weekend before coming back for the Viking invasion on the 14th. And the ladies played Berry College on Wednesday. Hey Adam. Hey Adam, did you see the Berry ladies win 3-0 over your Covenant College? Yeah. So the Berry men did fall to the Scots in overtime, but that's the Maryville Scots, not the Covenant Scots.
Marvel.
So we'll be on location September 14th, me and Adam, up at Covenant Scotland Yard, as it's called. Very awesome venue to watch soccer. If you don't have anything going on Tuesday around 7, go check it out. It's a great place to go watch a soccer game, and we'll be watching Barry. So moving on, we have World Cup qualifying also happening last night as we were getting home from the party. I'm against big streaming, so obviously I wasn't able to watch it because I don't have Paramount Plus. Jeff, here's the question that I want to pose. The U.S. national team with a big win on the road in Honduras. We had talked about Greg Berhalter's job kind of being on the line if he doesn't win this game. Are you happy that he saved his job?
I think so. I think because of two things. It was a profound win. It wasn't just they got by. It's a 1-4, very good form. And two, I think it's because of the quality of the side they faced. This was Honduras. This is one of the top teams in CONCACAF. And I think those two factors, and then all of a sudden, the whole landscape has changed. And we're no longer near the bottom. We could, get back to the second spot. But there's a whole lot of others in that 5 spot. So we're not out of the water, but I think he's not completely out of the hot seat, but I don't think where you have our finger on the panic button. But I kind of wonder if maybe they are keeping an eye out for other coaches just in case.
So that
Just in
almost
case.
is my point exactly. I'm so happy that the men won, that they've got themselves in the position that they're in. But we've got matches coming up in October. Really quick turnaround. 3 matches, 2 of them at home.
Mm-hmm.
Ricardo Pepi comes into this Honduras match, I believe, comes on as a sub and is responsible for all 4 goals.
Yeah. I mean,
we're going through all this ennui. Your job is on the line, and you finally put in the kid. And what sort of situation would we? It's hard to play those what if games, but those are the sort of decisions that drive me up a wall. And are we going to be in another position where we're coming into our last game of this next cycle, having only gotten 2 points from both games, one of them at home, and we're playing a home game against a decent Costa Rican team, and we're in the same boat, and every single qualifying cycle is going to feel this stressful. And so that's where, I'm hoping maybe he understands, he's learned, and is able to, put together a team that's going to come out against Jamaica, who's at the bottom of the qualifying table. And really, I want to see us win games 4-1 like this. That's kind of the minimum to me against a lot of these teams in Central and the Caribbean that we play against, that all seem to go 2-0, 2-1. We're gritting it out, white knuckle. And that's what I'm afraid now. All of this qualifying is going to be constantly white knuckle with Berhalter's job in the hot seat, instead of us going out, winning games 4-1, 5-0, and taking care of business, and having this thing locked up by almost the end of the cycle, and have a whole window where we can play kids and experiment and do all sorts of wacky things with our lineup. End Alex's second rant.
Yeah. Well, that's fine. Well, you mentioned Ricardo Pepi, and to me, there's 2 major positives. Of course, he started in USL League One, our first game ever as the Red Wolves. We saw a hat trick by a 16-year-old. So there is, but on the positive with that, it proves the quality of our league, that you could start in USL League One and you could hit the heights. The second thing for me, Alex, is hope that if we could get this homegrown player who's only played in North America, has only played in the US, hasn't gone to Europe, hasn't gone to South America to get his fame, can then play at this level of quality, then maybe this could be the beginning of a new batch of heroes that come from our own ranks. And that would be fantastic.
I've been impressed with him. There's never a moment that's too big. He stepped into his first professional match as a 16-year-old and took care of business, as much as it pains us to say that. And he moved up to the MLS club and very much did the same thing, and comes to make his national team debut in a World Cup qualifier where the coach's job is on the line, and has a goal and 3 assists. It's amazing. If he hasn't played in Europe, there's a decent chance that he will soon. And it's easy to get overexcited. How many of these young American players have we gotten super overexcited about, and it doesn't completely pan out the way that we all think it's going to? But, congrats, Ricardo. Keep going. and right now he brings a lot of hope that we need. So there we go.
I pointed out the hopeful. And then Alex had to pour on the cold water to bring us back to a bitter reality. It's almost like you're filling in the spot for Adam. So,
right, like Adam, isn't here. So, so now we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about some Champions League, which is starting on Tuesday. Yes. Adam may not know this, but Champions League is this awesome tournament in Europe. When you finish in the top 4 in the Premier League, your team gets to go play other top teams in Europe, and try to see who's the best in all of Europe. So Adam might not be familiar with that, with Arsenal. So
you're like hurting me too. I just want to let you know. In your attempt to hurt Adam,
I'm sorry, you're getting the rebound.
You're also well, we'll see.
Adam's trolling me in the comments that we're not going to share, and I'm having to hurt you on the rebound. You're getting friendly fire. So really, I just thought we'd kind of look at how these groups set up and try to figure out who we think is going to be moving on. And I think we can do this really fast because I don't think there's a lot that are going to be necessarily contentious as far as who's the top 2.
Well, you say that and look at Group A. Yeah, well, look at Group A. That's probably one of the most contentious at all because you've got City and PSG. PSG seriously upped their game. It's going to be one of those two, and normally I would think City, but it might be PSG.
With the talent that PSG has brought in, you would expect that they're going to finish in first place. Even still, they're going to be the top 2 that are going to move on to that knockout round.
Definitely.
So we move on and look at Group B. You have Atletico and Liverpool. I think those are going to be your 2 that end up moving on. But this is a fun group with AC Milan, a team that in the past has had a lot of success, and FC Porto, who's no pushover.
Yeah, Porto likes to come and ruin other people's days. But I do think, Atletico and Liverpool are the most likely.
Looking at Group C, I think, again, Borussia Dortmund and Ajax going to be the ones moving on.
Yeah, a lot of respect I have for Sporting and Besiktas both. But, yeah, I think that Dortmund and Ajax are the most likely out of these 2.
I think they'll move on, but they have to sweat a little bit for sure. We come to our next one, and I think here the teams moving on are easy, but I do want to call out FC Sheriff Tiraspol, the first ever Moldovan team in the UEFA Champions League group stage. So they've had 2 or 3 times where they've made Europa League group stage. And now they get to come to this big time, and it's very exciting. Awesome crest. If you're looking at that picture, that crest that they have looks so cool. I am down for Sheriff Tiraspol gear. If anyone has any they want to send me.
When you call your club Sheriff and you put a sheriff's badge on there, that's awesome. You're going to definitely get the Americans behind you. So Inter Milan and Madrid, I think, are the 2 going forward. Real.
Okay, I agree. My one question with Group D: do you think Sheriff scores a goal?
Yes.
Okay,
I don't think it's
there's at least a spot where someone is like, "What we're playing in Moldova," and they're able to sneak a goal, even though they might lose 3-0 or 3-1 in that match. I think they still managed to sneak a goal in.
I think so. I don't know they're going to get more than one, but I think they're going to get at least a goal.
Right. I think that's probably where they're setting the over/under is at 1. Group E, Bayern and Barcelona. This is, I think, the one game of this first round that really is going to draw eyeballs of these 2 powerhouses going against each other. I think, like you said, not as sexy as it used to be, but I think it still is a pretty good draw, and I think those are 2 that are going to be moving on.
All right, I'm going to differ because I think Barcelona's star is fading fast, and I'm going to go for Bayern Munich and Benfica. And maybe it's the Portuguese Wolves connection, but that's really more of a state. That's more of a statement, I think, on my lack of faith in where Barca is right now.
Yeah. Group F, now things are starting to get a little tougher. I think Manchester United has the quality to move on. Jordan Prefok, who
And
has
the
been
money, and the
part
money.
of right. Jordan Prefok, who has been part of this qualifying with the U.S., is a striker for young boys out of Switzerland. I think they're going to be in last place. I believe you're going to see Man United and Villarreal moving on.
Yeah, I mean, Atalanta has the capability. I think it's going to be tighter, but I do think Villarreal is the one that's going to be in second. And
Very close
United,
group, yeah.
those Devils will sell their souls for it. All right.
Now, this is one that I think is the toughest to call. Here again, we've got an American, John David Brooks, playing with VfL Wolfsburg. Tim Weah still playing with Lille. But FC Salzburg and Sevilla, also two very good. Actually, and I believe Red Bull Salzburg, Brandon Aronson of the U.S. national team. So this is one lower clubs that you haven't heard of, but a lot of interest in the U.S. probably for American players, unless you're Adam and you hate all American players.
Wow. Honestly, I think we're going to disagree on this one. I think who's going to take the top spot for this is Sevilla. They're no strangers to competition. They are the most successful club in Europa League, but the way they won Europa League again, I think they are really solid. So I think I'm going to pick them. But, I'm having a struggle on finding who's going to be second. And I am going to go for Lille.
So,
Lille.
Yeah. I think Lille, I don't know. Those French, they don't know how to pronounce anything. You're right. It is hard. And it's almost like flip a coin of these other three as far as who's going to finish in that second spot. I am going to say VfL Wolfsburg.
Wolfsburg, yeah. Yeah, I almost wanted to say Wolfsburg and Salzburg just so I could say it that way. But I chose not to,
So then we go to Group H, and this is where Adam tries to make an argument that Malmo is much better than anyone realizes, just to troll me. But he's not here. So I think this one's pretty obvious. Juventus, Chelsea. And it'll be fun seeing those matches as they try to struggle over who's going to be in first place. I think that's kind of a toss-up. Chelsea's good, but...
you know what? Last year would have been a toss-up. I think it's Chelsea this year. Juventus, they lost their biggest player. Their fight seems to be dropping. I think it's going to be Chelsea and Juventus, but I think it's going to be clearly Chelsea and then Juventus. I think there's going to be a bit of a gap.
All right. So Premier League is also starting back up this weekend with a slate that seems blander than oatmeal. Not a lot of big games as we looked over it. Is there one that you have your eye on? Besides Wolves, of course, you're going to be watching Wolves take on Brentford. On Saturday. No, not Brentford. Who am I thinking?
We're at Vicarage Road. Yeah, and there's some bad blood with Wolves and Watford. And so for Wolves players, this is actually probably a bigger game than it would be for most people. But there's a lot of no likey, especially with Troy Deeney and Raul Jimenez. So we'd like to see that matchup. I think we're going to get our first Wolves win. We played 3 very close matches against 3 top sides, and I think we're going to take it out on Watford. You mentioned Brentford. Brentford takes on Hove Albion, and I think Brentford's going to be on that. You've got Tottenham at Palace. I think Tottenham. Arsenal at Norwich. And is this Arsenal's first win, or is Pookie going to come back out and show what he can do?
No, I feel like Arsenal's going to come back from this ready to go and wanting to prove that they're not a last place team, which I agree with. They're not a last place team. So I see them coming away with the victory. Chelsea is going to be playing 12:30 against Aston Villa, and I'm sure Thomas Tuchel has a very bemused smile as last night he's watching Christian Pulisic come off the field with an ankle injury. But I still think we're going to win the match with or without Pulisic.
Yeah, the Battle of the Lions. Now, Battle of the Lions, and of course, that's another West Midlands club, and so I think Wolves supporters will be finally rooting for Chelsea for this one. You've got the Battle of Uniteds, Man United, Newcastle United. I know we got some Newcastle supporters in the pack, but I think they're going to be disappointed, and I really can't see them getting past Manchester. I think the biggest match as far as for the top quality is Leicester City, Manchester City. And you know what? If anyone right now that I think could really give Manchester City a big run this game, I think it could be Leicester City. What are your thoughts? Do you have any thoughts on that game?
Well, I mean, none of Manchester City's players, I think, were allowed to leave for international duty. That almost seems like it was, someone slipping some money somewhere to make that happen. I think they're gonna still continue to dominate. Leicester, kind of like Omaha, seems to be hey, let's bunker in and kick it to Vardy. Sort of like the Omaha, let's just bunker in and boot it to Hurst. So I think Man City's able to break those kind of teams down, and they'll play with possession all day, and just like Novocaine, run you into the ground.
Southampton, West Ham. I'm picking Southampton for
Battle
that one.
of the Hams.
But you know what?
Gonna have to order a ham
Battle of the
biscuit.
Hams. And even though West Ham is looking pretty good though, but I have a feeling it's gonna be Southampton for this.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm interesting. Sunday, you got the L's. You got Leeds against Liverpool. You would think the wise money would be on Liverpool, but Leeds can be quite sneaky. I am still going to pick Liverpool for this Diego Jota hat trick.
Yeah, I believe Liverpool would win. I think the smart money is on this being a high-scoring game being opened up between those two. So,
and the last one is Monday, Everton against Burnley, and I can't see anyone but Everton on this one.
I can't see anyone trying to tune in on a Monday afternoon when they're supposed to be working. That's just me.
Unless they're a diehard Everton supporter. So
yes, but we're not diehard Everton supporters here. We are diehard Biggleswade supporters.
Biggleswade. That's right.
Apologies to Superfan K Baker. We don't have the music. Did you have something else to say?
No, I was going to say, tell me, Alex. Tell me all the Biggleswade news.
So our friends at Biggleswade United still looking for their first win. They will be taking on Southend Manor in the FA Vase. The FA Vase is a trophy that was made for all of the non-league. So these are all the kind of semi-pro below level 4 of the English pyramid. For them to have one, and the winner gets, or the championship match gets to be played in Wembley. So it's a big thing for those amateur teams. So they're playing their first round of the FA Vase. Good luck, Biggleswade United. Their ladies, the Blues, also with a winner. Unfortunately, it's a sad day in Biggleswade over the weekend. All 3 teams were losing. So there are Biggleswade FC lost a very close match for their FA Cup. They'll be playing against Wantage on Saturday. Biggleswade Town as well lost. So we don't have any Biggleswade teams left in the FA Cup. We're not going to be able to hope that they might end up against Arsenal in one of those early rounds. Biggleswade Town, our buddy Chris Nunn, sending thoughts your way. He's been dealing with a bout of COVID that has unfortunately been kind of rough on him. But Chris, we love you and hope that you get better very soon. And they're going to be taking on Redditch United on Saturday. And right now, they are sitting in 7th place. They are 1 point behind the team in 6th, which would qualify them for the promotion playoff. So very early days, but they have been off to a good start. And hopefully on Saturday, things will continue for them. That is your Biggles Wade report.
Ta-da. Very nice.
So we've already pushed beyond an hour, so I feel like we probably should give this one over to posterity.
Yeah.
Bye.
We didn't have Adam to supervise. Bye. You know, watching you and your lips are out of sync, it feels like I'm watching a kung fu movie starring Alex.
Oh, do you want me to stop doing that?